It's me again. Yeah, so thanks everyone for coming, and thanks John. I was very moved by your speech. Every time John, talks about climate, talks about the scale of, the carbon emissions that we are facing, I always feel, tremendous, that we need to take a lot of action now. Okay, and I guess that's the theme, that we are trying to talk about in this week. Some of you were here yesterday. I talked about taking action, right? So I think we're trying to do it all the way around. So some of you would have received our goodie bag. Inside are actually sustainable water bottle and cutlery. Yeah, so utensils, so that you can use for your meals. So I think this is just the bare minimum, but there's a lot more that we can do. Yeah, and of course, I'm very grateful for all of you taking the time. Many of you are taking the time both days to be here. Okay, so we are very grateful for that. Okay, I think that's a very positive action that you're taking too. So thank you very much. Yeah. Then for today, okay, so we will be talking more about the carbon markets today. Yeah. So yesterday we covered about ESGpedia. Okay. Today we will be talking more about carbon markets. Okay, where our solution fits. Okay. So when we talk about carbon markets, right, the first thing to acknowledge is there are certain pain points in the carbon markets. Right, so this is where, when we have been speaking to multiple stakeholders in the last 6 months, okay, we have realized that many of them have come up with a common pain points. So firstly, there's fragmentation in the market. So we have to deal with a lot of different types of fragmented sources, standards, markets, frameworks. Okay, so that's the first problem that we are facing. Second, there are already some offset programs out there, publicly available. Sometimes there's a lack of transparency. There's a lack of transparency and traceability in the buyer's offset transactions. So even if I want to buy a carbon credit, it's not immediately transparent. It's not traceable from my purchase to the project. Okay, so all of these often lead to negative publicity. Some of these news articles that you find online, right? Or even these videos that make fun of carbon credits, right? So typically, this is the result, when you don't have a well-developed mechanism or well-developed infrastructure, right? So that will actually hinder markets, okay, to be able to scale up, to be where we need to be, right? So having this context in mind, we think that, to design a holistic solution, we're going to need these following features, which is number one, right? As John mentioned, you need to be able to measure what you can mitigate. So we need rigorous accounting. We need to account, for the footprint of what we do. Okay, it needs to be accurate so that we have a picture of what we are trying to achieve, of what we're trying to accomplish. Okay. Number two, transparency, right? For the various companies or entities that are trying to go to net zero, how are they doing it? Okay, are they doing it simply via offset? Are they actually decarbonizing? And when they do these carbon offsets, are they being transparent about it? Okay. Third point, collaboration. So the entire carbon market has a huge, value chain. Right? There's many different services involved, many different personas. There are investors, there are financiers, there are project, there are developers, owners, okay, and of course certification bodies. So that's where you see a lot of collaboration required. Okay, our role is to try to provide technology to enable this collaboration in a seamless way, because we believe in tech. All right, so it's only when collaboration happens, okay, that's where we can cover an entire holistic solution. So with that background, okay, we designed a holistic solution towards net zero. So yesterday we talked about ESGpedia, right? A common platform, a registry that aggregates and harmonizes various types of data from different industry sectors. Okay, different types of verified ESG data, okay, from different industries into one platform for multiple usage, for structuring into various financial sector use cases. So if you missed yesterday, that's absolutely all right. We have recordings of the session yesterday. Okay, we will be able to make them available later on, right? Today, we also have 5 other sessions besides myself, right? We also have 5 other examples or case studies of how we are, using ESGpedia. But of course, today I would like to focus a little bit more on CarbonPal, which is our additional service that we leverage off our work on aggregating data and harmonizing data across multiple industry sectors, including carbon credit registries. So that's where we are therefore able to provide a digital service for end-to-end traceability of transactions from origination to retirement. Okay? So specifically to the carbon credit registry, or industry, we mentioned ESGpedia aggregates many different sectors, but specifically to carbon credits, what we have done further is that besides integrating with the Vera and Go registries, or even recently we started to integrate with TIVA, the Thailand registry, okay, we have also gone further to aggregate data from the DMRV providers. So we have a good network and ecosystem of DMRV platforms. So these are digital measurement, reporting, and verification, where they are able to provide data directly from the projects. Okay, so they have a variety of satellite, drone, AI, technologies. They are able to feed data to support their claims as they try to get certified, okay, on the registries, on the standards. Okay, so these data are aggregated on our platform, firstly. Now, secondly, after certification, there are carbon credits that are generated. So these carbon credits that are out in the market, they may be traded or bought by, for offsets by certain entities. So all of these transactions are also recorded on ESGpedia. Okay, all of these transactions are also recorded and aggregated according to a profile, according to a project, or according to an entity. So that's how we try to have all of this data in one single platform. Okay, and in CarbonPal, what we've done also is that we have enhanced this process with a carbon footprint assessment. Okay, so we are able to provide carbon footprint assessment of individual products that will be able to give you a picture of your carbon footprint of every single thing that you use or buy. Right? That is also coupled with a solution where we record every single transaction on our digital platform on a line-by-line basis. Okay, again, it will be aggregated into our platform. Okay, so to dive a little bit deeper into how it all comes together, so we have a real use case now. So this use case, to be more exact, is actually going to be launched next Tuesday. Okay, when I'm at COP27. Yeah, so it's going to be launched next Tuesday while I'm in Egypt, but we have a team also, launching it here in partnership with a global e-commerce brand. Okay, so this is going to be launching next week. So this global e-commerce brand is a name that everybody knows. Okay, it has itself been in business for more than 20 years. They have more than 200 million active customers on their e-commerce platform. So, their products, interestingly, why are they able to, be so, progressive? It's because they actually own the entire manufacturing supply chain. So they know every single product that they produce, the type of material that has been put in, okay, the logistics that have been, used, so that it's different from the time when I buy this product in Singapore. If I buy it from, let's say, if I'm in China, for example, the logistics footprint would be different. So having all of this, expertise has allowed us to be able to partner where they are therefore able to provide accurate carbon footprint calculation of every single product that they carry, from cradle to grave, okay, from the factory to the gate. Yeah. So that's where, partnering with them, we have a very accurate carbon footprint calculation of every product. We then further, embed a service, into their e-commerce website. So at the checkout function itself, when they're trying to purchase these products, the consumers will be able to get a choice to be able to offset this footprint. Okay, so this is something that's really quite meaningful to me personally, because I myself, unfortunately, I travel a fair bit. Okay, so I've been in a few different countries in the last few weeks. So, every time I do that, every time I fly, I try to look for a carbon offset function. But, just looking for this carbon offset function is not so easy, right? Okay, for example, I shouldn't be so specific, but, one of the airlines that is based in Singapore, not so many, their carbon footprint offset button, it's not in the same page as their, checkout page. So you have to be looking out for the for the offset page, which is on a different page altogether, to be able to be able to offset your footprint. Okay, and I also went to Thailand, right? So the airline company that I took to fly to Thailand, which was a Thailand company, similarly, they couldn't have this offset in the checkout button. And even worse, they had a separate page that didn't work. So in other words, it went to a broken link. Okay, so all of these point towards, okay, frankly, they were just outsourcing their services to a third party and couldn't keep it online. Yeah. So what we have done as a major upgrade, firstly, is that this offset functionality is embedded within the payment itself. And the reason or the secret behind this is simply because we partner with a payment gateway. So besides an e-commerce brand, we also have a partnership to implement this as part of the payment gateway process, which means that besides paying, I also have an additional button called offset, all right? Accurately, the footprint that has been calculated. And once I decided to do so, these fractional transactions are now recorded on the ESGpedia carbon credit page that I was just describing previously. Every single transaction on a fractional basis, because quite frankly, not many of us will be able to use up 1 ton of carbon in any transaction. Yeah. So for example, I actually learned from them that a cup of flat white coffee is actually 0.96 kg. Yeah. Which is really interesting because the footprint is heavier than its actual weight. Yeah. We don't really drink 0.96 kg of coffee right away, but the footprint is 0.96 kg. So when I flew to Bangkok, okay, and back, return, and it's different for economy class and business class, right? So as I was flying economy class, it was $3.50, whatever the footprint was, which is definitely less than a ton. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting that we are able to break down all these numbers, okay, and then because we are now able to support fractional transactions, which means that I do not need to buy 1 ton, okay, because on the carbon markets today, the typical unit is 1.0. Yeah. Now I'm able to purchase fractional transactions, have this recorded on the line by line. Hey, hi, Yulin. Long time no see. Yeah. Okay. And also, okay, have all these transactions aggregated, okay, and very transparent onto this independent profile. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's the second upgrade that we bring. Okay. First upgrade was basically a offset within the payment function. Second upgrade, okay, enhancement, is definitely because I can now see my transaction on a fractional level. Okay, again, without naming names. Okay, there's a Singapore bank that has started doing this carbon offset function inside the app. Okay, there's also a transport, app, super app that allows me to book rides, right? So all of these offset programs, very good, well-intentioned, right? Good intentions. However, they do not show me where my money goes to. It might be $3 only, right? It might be $5 only. However, I'm unable to see where did my $5 go to. Okay, I cannot see the causal link of my $5 and the project. Okay, whereas what we have right here is, every single retirement or Vera or Go could be 1 credit. Out of that 1 credit, or 1 block as I call it, okay, could be multiple transactions, could be 10 transactions, where every one of them is recorded on our platform with the timestamp, okay, with the individual number of unit, with a unique ID that the consumer is going to get via email from our service. Okay, so that's where you finally map it back to Vera and Go standard. Yep. So this entire service is something that, as I mentioned, personally I'm feeling is quite interesting and very meaningful because I will be using it too. Okay, and it allows for therefore enhanced inclusivity where we can really get the whole of the community working together. Okay, whereby consumers can see it, can feel it, can do something, and you can see some engagement and positive impact driven on a society-wide level. And that's what we already have. The carbon credits fractionalization use case launching next week of this technology service that we built. Okay. Then of course here are some screenshots. Okay, actual screenshots of the page. We just need to turn it on next week, where we have already embedded this functionality of offset, okay, in the checkout function, okay, with a carbon footprint calculator to calculate your laptop footprint, for example. And when you are able to perform this checkout, okay, and when you have the choice to offset your footprint, okay, you will be given a ID, okay, a certificate if you may, okay, to be able to show that you have offsetted a certain amount of footprint. In this case, it is 1.23 tons, okay? And have all of these transactions, okay, recorded on our platform, line by line, including fractional transactions, and aggregated back to, okay, the merchant profile. So in other words, okay, one thing I forgot to mention is that, besides serving this e-commerce brand, because we are working with a payment gateway too, we are definitely going to be able to expand this to multiple merchants. Yeah, so this e-commerce platform is the first one that we're going to work with, but we are already through the payment gateway, also talking to many other merchants who will be interested to launch this after our first launch. Yeah, in other words, we might have, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 merchants very quickly, and that's where, every one of the merchants will be able to have their transactions, okay, categorized by merchant, okay, where it's all recorded here, harmonized into a single merchant profile. And also, okay, have every single transaction recorded, okay, with their timestamp, okay, with their vintage, okay, and the beneficiary of the retirement. So every single transaction is recorded. Okay, so if I, Ben Soh, right, I purchase a carbon credit and I want to be named, okay, I'm able to see my name, okay, in the ESGpedia platform being recorded. And of course, on the project level, okay, any project, there's all the transactions from history, okay, origination to retirement to for the entire life cycle of the project would be recorded too, okay, and across, okay, different registries. Okay, so a lot of these things that we do actually we are doing it in support of global standards, right? So firstly, we want to support greater transparency of projects, right? So we want to be able to aggregate, harmonize different types of data of different industries. And by the point that, we are integrating or aggregating data from different types of, platforms and registries, we ultimately hope to be aligned with the Climate Warehouse Initiative. Of course, the Climate Warehouse Initiative has also just launched a Climate Action Data Trust just last week, right? And it's going to be hosted in Singapore. We are quite looking forward to it because we think that, okay, we could definitely be at least a user right away, okay, and also we want to be a contributor if we can, right? So this is definitely aligned, with this initiative where we aggregate different types of data from different sources into a digital, okay, transparent platform. Secondly, we want to promote greater visibility of carbon offsets. As mentioned, a lot of the activities that I am doing right now, personally, is not being shown anywhere. So I hope to be able to, start seeing my own offsets showing up transparently so that I can be assured, that my credit or my actions have contributed to the project. This is also very aligned, okay, with a potential Vera initiative that they've been announcing, okay, about allowing or supporting immobilization and fractionalisation. Yeah, so while they are still figuring out or they are still building a technology for this, we are able to first, deliver first, okay, and hopefully it will still all come back together as a connection with them. All right, and ultimately we think that this will enhance inclusivity for everyone, right? So we think that sustainability, I started by saying that we all need to take action, right? Okay, we are, handing out, sustainable goodie bags, and besides that, I still remember what John mentioned earlier, where we are losing 30 football fields every minute. That is mind-boggling. Yep, okay, that is mind-boggling. And in Singapore, I think we are gone in a matter of hours at the pace. Yeah, so I think we need to be able to recognize the fact that it's not just going to be entities or companies, performing these activities. It does need to be starting from the ground up. Yep. So I think that's where we are able to, okay, try to promote this inclusivity for all size players, be it your SME or your individual, okay, where we could drive society changes. Okay. So of course we are not alone. Okay. So we would love to collaborate. Okay. The fact that we have so many different guest partners today, I think it's because we like to collaborate, right? So we have a lot of support from the MAS under Project Greenprint. Okay. We are already covering multiple industry sectors. We have a growing list of use cases, right? Yesterday, you heard 4 use cases. Today, we have 5 use cases, okay, whereby it includes green financial portfolio monitoring, supplier sustainability monitoring, sustainability financial products, and what I just mentioned, end-to-end carbon credits, right? We have, very good partnerships from financial institutions, okay, and non-FI, the largest ones that you know, okay? And so we see that we're not alone. We really want to be able to partner with everyone, okay? And also our team, we are working hard on this, right? So you see so many of them, give them a high five. Yep. So many of them are, standing behind. You will notice one trend. They are mostly younger than me. Yeah. And basically, okay, work hard day and night, okay? And we are very committed to our vision and mission, right? But of course, we can't do anything by ourselves. We believe that this is going to be a collective effort, right? And also, before I end, okay, I just like to remind everyone that, after this, there's still going to be a few other sessions, okay, whereby we're showing you cases in, other use cases in carbon credits and buildings. Okay, we are going to talk more about, agriculture use cases later. There's going to be supplier sustainability monitoring, and also a use case about textile and fashion. So I think there's a lot of things, or a lot of different ways, okay, that all of these sectors could be supported, okay, with the use of technology, collaboration, okay, and of course, okay, ecosystem. Yeah. So of course, with this, I believe that with a strong ecosystem, we could definitely, okay, reach our goals together. Thank you.
Thank you.